Hello everyone and welcome to another session of Table Round. This week we're going to be talking to directors about their experiences and how they started in directing. So with us today we've got Josh, Ryan, Nia, Mark, Colin, Chase, and my co-presenter tonight is Hannah. Hello everyone.
Hi. There you go.
Right, okay, so I'll just open up with a why question. What was your favourite film as a child? Go to Josh first, go on.
Oh wow. Probably I would say the one that really kind of influenced me was Stand By Me, which is quite it's quite an old film. But yeah, that really it just reminded me of my childhood really. Being with friends, you know, going on adventures and stuff like that. And I think the whole kind of heartwarming story behind it is one that everyone can kind of relate to. And you know, it's narrated by Richard Dreyfuss as well, which is just brilliant, and yeah, it's just one of my favourite films. So.
Good.
Well, that would be a difficult question to ask me at any age, not just as a child, but probably the first sort of film that I can remember is 2001, and any of Stanley Kubrick's work. Mainly, they stood out to me because they were mainly about the ideas that were being communicated. Which is something that sort of resonated with me. It was about communicating an idea and using characters to communicate that idea. Maybe that's a bit of a psychopathic way of looking at it. You know, as if the people are irrelevant. But you know, I just thought what he was doing was very interesting. You know, it was sort of as if it was like a paper or a thesis on something through very immersive cinema. You know, it was very grand as well, what he did, especially with 2001. And that's what I thought cinema should be. You know, we should have that element of grandness. And certainly when I saw it in the cinema, it was reissued in fact last year, I think. It was just amazing to see it, you know, on the big screen.
In my case, it's Mr. Nobody, which is a weird film, and most of the people know it. But when I decided to start filmmaking, I knew I wanted to talk about more than one story at the same time happening, because that's my life. It doesn't happen one story, it's a mix of everything. And Mr. Nobody explores every single story that can happen in your life, and it's beautifully done. And I just fell in love with the visuals, the acting, and the multiple stories combined perfectly. So yeah.
Who made that? Who made that?
French director, really weird.
But it's because it's French, right?
I think my earliest memory, a movie called Never Ending Story.
Oh yeah, man!
It's a great film.
Love it.
Start singing.
Yeah.
And then apart from that, any Batman film, or films like Matilda. Because Days had great stories, and I loved the colours in Batman. Like, it was dark but also funny in their kind of way. And I think that, you know, the whole part of like just telling the story, that's what I'm interested in, and just I like Matilda, so yeah.
You like Matilda?
Okay,
Escape from New York.
Here we go.
I was 11 and it totally blew me away. And
what certificate was Escape from New York?
It was an 18, but it was on video and it was me dad.
You know, the room.
It was there in the room.
So what was it about the film you liked?
Everything, the way it was shot. I wanted to be Snake Plissken.
Who didn't?
Everything about it. And it was him trying to get out of a place that he couldn't get out of. It was like being in Nodus Green. Fantastic. Just everything about men. It's just John Carpenter. John Carpenter as a whole. That was the first day I saw that. That was 11.
Yeah.
Well, from that, what was your first film that you made?
Did you bypass me or
I'm
something?
so sorry.
I know I'm old and everything,
I'm
but I
sorry.
still exist.
There's some existence, but
Yeah.
Well, even though, even though, I mean, Never Ending Story and Stand By Me, it really is showing how old man Logan I am. But, so my favorite film actually goes a lot further back than that one, which would be It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, that's a great film.
You know, it's a great pull, that one, man. I mean, it comes on every year, so it doesn't matter how old you are, but I mean, as a filmmaker, to me, it was about the emotional impact and the resonance of that film. Because it was all about character. It was all about one guy who doesn't believe in the power of just being himself. You know? And like, for me, as a filmmaker, all I wanted to do, and I don't know if I probably haven't done it yet, but all I want to do is have a film that has that kind of emotional impact. So at the end, when the whole community comes together to save this man's life, you know, to give them everything that they have, you know, it just makes me cry every time I watch that film. It's like on cue, and that's very hard to do. And to me, that was the power of that film, is that it has such an emotional resonance of character and of communication that I'm hooked. You know, so that's always at #1 on my top list of favorite films.
So on that,
You're doing good.
yeah, what was your first film that you ever made? Anyone?
My first scripted film, 2013, a college project.
How old are you?
Oh, sure. It was called Arcana Fall, which is Latin for Secrets Fall. And it just had like so many multi-storyline. Like there was a gay storyline, a pregnancy storyline, all in 12 minutes, and it was just chaotic, and it was all mostly handheld. And I kind of raised that film, but you know, it happened.
You got something somewhere, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, like for me, I mean, I'll just say my first film here, you know, because I had to totally reinvent myself anyway, you know, running from the law and stuff. But no, my first film here was this film called The Land of Nod, and like you know, because I was new in England and everything like that, you know, coming from the hood and everything like that, you know, I am from New York, right? So, you know, the way you know, people communicate is like they nod at each other, you know. I mean, you don't know them or anything like that, so it's like you in the shop or walk down the street and it's like, yo, what's up? It's like, hey, you know, you just automatically nod back. So when I was here in England and I'm in like Tesco's or something like that, you know, and then there's like a black guy over there and he nods at me. I'm like, what the fuck? Well, yeah, I know you. And then I'm standing on the street. And then, like, some guy just walks by and he does it. I was like, whoa, what's happening? Right? I don't know you.
He probably wanted drugs.
So, anyway, I did turn it into that kind of a conspiracy. So I wanted to do, like, a conspiracy film around these strangers who seem to know something that this one guy didn't know and everything. And inspired by Bryan Singer's The Following and everything, you know, I just wanted to just do something like that. It's shot all over Liverpool, and it's a great film because when I look at it now and seeing how much Liverpool has changed, I'm kind of like, wow, that's really awesome. So, The Land of Nod, nod, you nodded me.
My first film was called Face the Window, and it's awful. Next. Shocker.
My first film, I was 14 years old, so I don't really consider it like my film, you know. I've changed a lot, so I see it as a kid's game now. And then if I need to say like my baby, my first film would be actually a Catalan series called Souls, and that was the first time I knew this was my path. You know?
What is the Soul of Souls?
Oh?
Did you say Soul of Souls?
Souls, just Souls.
Oh, Souls, yeah, right.
Yeah, Catalan series, English name.
All
That's
right.
why I'm here.
All right. I get it, I'm with you.
Yeah, my first film was a documentary called The Creative Process, which I've just finished just in January of this year. But I was lucky in the sense that I'd done actually a lot of shorter videos, you know, corporate video work, that type of thing. And before that, before actually making my first film, so all the elements of it I sort of got experience of without, you know, the problem of making the first thing is that it's not going to be what you want it to be, but making those shorter things gave me the, you know, capabilities to then go into something that was perhaps a bit closer to what I wanted it to be. You know what I mean?
Wow, blimey. Well, my short film, I'm pleased to say, was a university film, and it was the first time we'd ever got funded. I had £1,000 fund for it, and I think it just went on my junk feed, and rubbish, basically. I don't even know where that money went. But it was we could have made it for free, but it was a uni project and we got funded for it. So we had it was basically a short film called Maggie that you won't find anywhere because I'm trying to hide every copy of the shop. But it was written by somebody else, and originally he was going to direct it. But you could only do one crew role, and of course then I stepped in as director and kind of took over. And it was quite difficult to make because we had different sort of visual styles. When he wrote it, he knew exactly how he wanted it, and then I had my own take on it. So it was difficult to kind of come to a decision. When we come to the editing, he wanted it a certain way, and I wanted it a certain way. But it was just, the storyline was just crazy. It was about a lonely guy who can never find love. And then he finds love. And the last place he ever expected was actually a face on his hand.
That's not the last place I would expect.
Where can I find this?
I want to see that.
That sounds great.
It was
I don't think you want to see it.
No.